Okay, so I wasn't able to uh, finish Sprint 7 this week. I spent a lot of time trying to flesh out my scene design, and I am I've broken quite a few things, and am not and don't feel like putting in hacks in place in order to make the Sprint 7 look the way it's supposed to. So I figure I can just go through the design that I have right now. I think I got a little lost in my code and ended up doing some unnecessary things. So I need to take a look back through it and just confirm the design choices I made. But right now, the way I have it set up is I have this scene manager, and it holds the scene context, and the scene context holds the scene state, and the scene state can be any one of these, and then um, the scene manager is the class that actually holds all of those states. It's holding them in an array. I don't know if this is a problem, but I hope not. I'm using this array as a way to just index into it. So it's just holding it as a collection rather than having four separate fields. And then I associate this enum with the indexes of the array, right? So the first index is the attract, and the last index is the game over. And then when I get a scene state, I just pass in the enum and cast it to an integer. Um, yeah, please let me know if that's gonna be a problem. I hope not, because I think it's fairly clean and it's I mean it could be problematic, but okay, yeah. Regardless, moving on. So yeah, my scene manager, it has an update and a draw method, and in my game I simply call draw on my scene manager and update on my scene manager. And then looking back at the diagram, one thing, the most challenging part of this has turned out to be the play state, obviously. And the way I've done this was using like an embedded state in my play state. And so it has a game mode, and based on the game mode, it's either one or two players. And so in the select scene state, you will press the one or two key to advance onto the play state, and pressing the one key will set the current game mode to be the one player. Pressing the two key sets the current game mode to be two players, and the play scene will just work with those, whatever the current game mode is. It will update and draw the current game mode. And so, going back to here, all and then the one and two game one and two the game modes for one and two players, all they really are is just a container for the player class, which is kind of just a big old hunkin' class of everything to do with the player state. And so the two player game mode holds two players, and the one player game mode holds one player. And so if we take a look at the player class, it holds all fields that need to be unique to the particular player, and that includes these managers, the sprite batch, collision, time event, and the game object node manager. And then as a consequence of having multiple players, I had to remove the singleton from my factories because the factory, well, actually, this is in particular, this is something that this is what I wanted. This is what I was talking about earlier when I got a little lost in my code. For some reason, I felt that I had to make the sprite batch manager a non-singleton, and I felt like I could not use the idea of setting the sprite batch manager active. But I'm gonna retake a look at this and see if I can if I was wrong about that, and if I can just use like the basic setting active idea. But with my sprite batch manager not being a singleton, I have to pass the sprite batches, the alien and box sprite batches to my factory when I create it, and that allows it to not be a singleton and just lives in my player class along with the rest of the stuff. Um, I guess I can just play my game just to show you. It's not very pretty, but I have my scene. If I press H to start the simulation, you, yeah, and then if I press the 1 key, I switch over to the whatever the game state, and that's all as far as I have is just switching to the play state. I'll go ahead and exit. I don't have collision set up, I don't think, or at least that's not my focus right now. I'm focusing on getting all the scenes set up properly, and it's taking a lot longer than I expected. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Any feedback on my scene design? I know it's complicated, I guess, but I hope it's not convoluted. And then also, in regards to the use of arrays right here, any feedback on that would be very much appreciated. Thank you.